It's almost Christmas time, and this is a great way to look back at the past year and looking forward with, really looking forward to 2023. And this episode is really going to help you make you look forward to this year. Enjoy. This is Big Business with Sarah, the podcast for entrepreneurs who want to continue building their business and understand you should never stop learning. 2022, a year of the war in Ukraine, an energy crisis, inflation, and an upcoming recession. And all those things are within your circle of concern, right? So things that you cannot control unless you're a politician or a world leader, or if you're working in the energy industry, whatever. But most of us don't. And most of us don't have a lot of influence on, individually on what's happening in the world. Yes, you can vote. You always have to vote. I'm thinking of Cameron, who's asking Daphne in The White Lotus, "Did you vote, babe? Be honest." Yeah, I think I voted. It's like, no. One of my favorite characters, by the way, Daphne. Anyway, what kind of year was it for you? Because each and every one has their own individual lives. And, maybe personally for you, it was very different from many people around the world. So, for instance, sometimes, the COVID crisis was a very good moment for some kinds of entrepreneurs or people who were working. And for other people, it wasn't really good. And it's so interesting. What I'm noticing right now is, for instance, that the industry was very much, was actually thriving thanks to COVID, because people were at home and things were changing and everything. And now actually the industry isn't thriving anymore because of the energy crisis. So there's always little shifts actually happening. Well, actually large shifts happening. Once something happens that is not within your circle of concern, without your circle of concern. Way to go, Sarah. Your English is perfect again. Sorry. But actually really seeing what could work for you, and also being able to kind of resist, getting in panic mode, because maybe you're afraid in the short term what might happen to your business. And whilst actually I do not believe that entrepreneurs should ever focus on the short term. Yes, of course, you can have a bad week. You can even have a bad month or a bad quarter and also a bad year, but you should always focus on the long term. That's really important, and nobody else is going to do it for you. It's a little bit annoying, but it's true. And, you could hire help, to help you focus on that long term, and that will actually really help you thrive in your business. But if you're just in it for the short game, get rich quick schemes, all those things, they do not exist. And I'm very happy that the debate has shifted, by the way, because, it's very unhealthy. I personally really don't like to advertise about, I made money in months time. I think that's ridiculous. And I think that's a very unhealthy habits of the industry, especially specifically the coaching industry, by the way, because you always have so much more, you have so much. That's also what my program is really so much about. And I'm talking about it all the time because, I so much believe in this, that it starts with you and all the experience that you have. And it's so wonderful, actually. And I think you should really, put it to good use. Anyway, we're going to look back. And, between all the celebrations every year on New Year's Eve, my husband and I are having a moment to ourselves and grab a little book with goals. It's the same book since 2016. And this book consists of goals from, the past few years, because it's the same book, and new goals for the upcoming year. And since we've done this since 2016, we didn't really realize what it would actually do to us, but it really helped us focus on the importance of goal setting for ourselves individually and in our relationship and, in our businesses or career. And actually, goal setting is very much a long-term vision game. You have something envisioned, and I have so many nice episodes about this. I'll talk about that later on. And that you can actually really learn to focus on that long term. And even though it might sound a little bit boring, it will also really motivate you to push through. One of my clients in my mastermind, she asked me how to stay motivated. And I'm really convinced, yes, of course, you should do things that you really like and everything, but you really have to have a vision, and it also has to kind of tickle a little bit. It has to be really something that you really, really want, and not just something you think you should do because maybe of the people around you are saying that you should do it. And yeah, so that's my advice to you. If you're having some motivation problems, really look at your goals. And this episode is perfect for you because I'm going to help you step by step on how to do that. Because goal setting sounds so abstract, actually also, but it's very practical. And it's also a really fun exercise. So how to do this? So first, we're going to look back. We're going to look back at the past year. So I'm recording this in 2022. Maybe you're listening to this in 2026, which I always find such a strange idea, but yeah, here we go. Just look at back at last year. That's what we're going to start with. So how can you do that? You can, it's very easy. Look at pictures in your phone or your social media accounts. Look at your agenda, all the things that you've done. What was in there? What have you done? What kind of meetings did you have? Look at your journal or your diary. Maybe you have a diary. Maybe messages to friends that you sent, WhatsApp messages or Instagram DMs, postcards you've received. And try to collect all those things and, try to see, what fits you best. Maybe if you've taken hundreds of photos or thousands of photos last year, maybe it can be a little bit of a draining job, but start with something that is very easy for you. So maybe you don't write down a lot of things in your agenda, then start there. Or maybe you don't write as much in your diary, start there. If you're only writing in your diary when you're feeling bad, maybe also read that. It's not bad to look back at the bad things actually, but yeah. So that, I'm only writing, one of my friends is only writing in his diary when he's feeling bad. So just know that for yourself. And then write down, once you've collected all those things, this could be 20 things, this could be 30 things, 5 things, things. Maybe you decide to only pick the things that really stood out. So write down for yourself, what did you like? What did you really like about this? So for instance, in my case, I really like that I've worked shorter work days, and maybe you liked that you were hanging with friends a lot, and maybe you liked that you created dinner every day for yourself, a healthy dinner. And so that's the thing that you like. And then really dive deep into what gave you energy. What really gave you something that you didn't really that you thought that maybe gave you a little bit more energy than you put in. So for instance, maybe standing in front of an audience. Maybe it is creating social media posts. Maybe it is joining a coaching program. Could be anything really. And then I want you to look at the people that are in the pictures or in your agenda. Who do you want to invest more time and energy in? Do you hear what I'm doing? By the way, I'm doing very positive things right now to start with, because I want you to think about what you liked, what gave you energy, and now the next step is, who do you want to invest more time and energy in? Who were the people around you or the businesses around you that you really liked? Make a list of these people. And this might sound a little bit strange, and maybe you'll think of yourself as kind of a stalker. But actually writing down these names is really helping it make a little bit more formal, and that you're kind of making an agreement with yourself that you are going to decide to spend more time with these people because they gave you energy. And you don't have to tell them. You can just, or you can tell them. It's up to you. And maybe, if you want to tell them, send them a special postcard or a message to tell them. Talk about your intention and saying, you know what, I really would like to see you more next year. And then the last thing is, when looking back, is what do you want to discard in your life? So this is just as important as the things that I just spoke about, because this could be things that you're doing. So for instance, that you're working on, for instance, a certain client, people who work for you, your team, and much more. These could also be very hard things, right? So sometimes it can be very difficult to say goodbye to something that you're kind of used to doing. So for instance, I have many, and they might be listening. I have many friends who want to start a business, but believe that the business they work for, which isn't their business, they work for a boss. They believe that that's safer. And I'm really air quoting here because I'm sorry, but if you still think that working for a boss is safe with all the layoffs that's going to happen, especially, in the recession, it is going to happen. It happened already during COVID. And, with all the growing burnouts, I really don't think that, having that kind of default mode of believing that working for a boss is the safest. I do not believe that. I'm not saying that every boss is bad, right? So, but if you're just saying that to yourself, this is the safe option, I think there's some mindset work to be done, and then you can really start your own business. Because I think, having your own business is really allowing you to stand up for yourself and create a very, very safe space for yourself. So you don't have to work with people you don't want to work with anymore. So it's not just being safe, like job security safe or money safe, but also feeling safe, more from a mental health point of view, no longer working with draining clients. You don't have to do that. It's really... Please, I don't know how many times I have to say this, but there's so many kind of fairy tales people are telling me, why they don't want to. And, I'm not forcing everyone to start their business, right? So only if you want to start your business, you have to, really think about this really strongly. And I'm not saying that you have to build all your bridges and quit your job right now, but really working on a plan and kind of forgetting the idea that having a job is safe, and work from there. So that's one mantra I want to share with you today. And that's hard, right? Because my parents, or mostly my mother, she would always say having a job is better than running a business, because guess what? She didn't have a business ever in her life. And she knew some business owners who were bankrupt, or, of course, you hear the bad stories. And that's what I was grown up with. And I think you did too. And your parents only want the best for you. But try to rethink that mindset after listening this episode. So what do you want to discard in your life? So this could be a job. This could be volunteer work. This could be, actually, this is not very nice, but this could also be friends. If you have friends who are really not giving you any energy, and, for instance, so many people are saying this, for instance, Oprah, my idol, obviously, she's also saying this: surround yourself with people that support you. And it's so, so important. And it's just, if I'm thinking about that, too long, I'm getting very emotional. How many people are actually attached to certain friends because they think they should stay loyal, But actually, in friendships, it fades, and sometimes it can go up again. For instance, one of my best friends right now, I've known him for about, I think, 14 years. And then we were very intensely in touch for 2 years, the first 2 years. And then I think we didn't speak to each other for about 8 years. And now we're, getting back together again. And it's so nice, it's okay, and we've grown. We are much older right now, much more grown up. So it's fine. Please don't be afraid to, one of my friends also told me, another friend, she said that she had problems of letting go of friendships because it was very difficult for her to make friends when in her teenage years. And so she would really hold on to them for dear life. And whilst I think that's really, really, I really understand it. And I think that's such a sweet way. But if people hurt you, just, discard sounds is such a bad term, but actually, it's time maybe to say goodbye or to have that conversation with yourself and think, what does this relationship need to make it better for me? All right. On that note, a little bit personal, actually, that I'm sharing this. Well, it's not really personal about me, but I believe, running a business is also really about having a great life. And so having, maybe having a great business, but actually not having a very good social life doesn't match. So yeah, that's why I wanted to also talk about friendships. So now it's time to look to the future. And you can listen to my episode 46 about productivity to create goals for the long term. So that's that in that episode, I'm sharing with you my biggest secret to productivity, and it's all about setting long-term goals. And so you might think that a year goal setting, what we're doing right now, is long-term, but actually it's more about 3 to 5 years. So I want to share a fun extra exercise with you. Because for next year, I want you to create 8 goals. And it's going to be easy, no worries. And for the first part, I want you to create 2 goals you already nearly reached. This could be an income goal. This could be a team goal. This could be maybe a number of clients goal. Could be anything. And then the second thing I want to ask you is to create 2 goals that are very doable. That are very much expected of you. If you would write a business plan right now, you would know exactly, this is very doable. I know I can do this. And then the third, and you know where I'm going probably, is to create 2 goals that are almost impossible to reach. And then the fourth part is to create 2 goals that are reaching for the stars and really impossible. So this could be make 10 million euros. I think this is not, maybe it is for you actually. But for not many people, this is doable. But what this exercise does is to open up your mind a little bit of what you actually really desire. And that's what I love so much about this exercise. So once you've done all this, I want to ask you to create a vision board, what you want for yourself next year. And a vision board is just a board with some pictures on it. It could be 8 to 16 pictures that kind of visualize what you desire, and then hang that up everywhere in your office, your bedroom, maybe, I don't know, what you like doing, but have it at a place that you are at every day and look at it every day. Other things that you could do for next year, which people really love to do, is to clean up your closet, donate your old clothes or sell them, rethink the good causes you want to donate money to, and start creating that business plan using my episode 46. So what we've really done today is to really look back, but also look forward and take action. And maybe also by cleaning up that closet, or maybe cleaning out your office, or whatever, or really fixing that admin before your accountant is going to ask you to finally give all your numbers to them, to actually really have that ready before the new year starts. And now it's your turn. Now that I've told you about my technique that my husband and I are using, and we're making it better each and every year, I would like to share with you a free download with a template of this book. I created this last year. By the way, this training is one of the first trainings that I've created. This podcast episode, I also created an Instagram live about it. It was a lot different. I listened to it actually before creating this episode. I was like, I was in such a different place. But I rewrote the goal setting book, and you can download it for free for 2023. And have fun, enjoying creating for the long term, and enjoy the moments that are coming. You can listen to my gratitude episode, just really, really enjoy life and your business and creating it. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas if you're celebrating, and hopefully see you next week.